One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
I would say yes. I think that they would be. I think the biggest issue, something that I have been very careful to avoid in my career, is conflict of interest. And so if I am an attorney who is representing a coach, and I have an athletic director that's also one of my clients, it puts me in a very difficult position to say, go to my athletic director client and tell them that they should hire my other client, right? Because I'm conflicted. And if something doesn't go right, for example, that coach isn't successful, well, then I have just put my athletic director client in a precarious position for choosing to listen to my advice in that context. And in fact, as an attorney, because of the moral conduct rules that we have, that would technically potentially put my license at risk to be representing multiple people in a transaction like that. So I think there's going to be a fine line, but I can tell you right now that there are people out there that do that. There are people that go out and they build relationships with athletic directors and they work with them in some kind of representation context, and they use that to potentially place their coaches. And we see that a lot on the professional sports level, where a agent may represent a coach and represent a player, and they use the opportunity of them having that coach as a client to get their player a tryout or get them signed on a team. And obviously that may end up in a very bad situation if things don't work out on either end. Personally, I think it's the same context as when an assistant coach somewhere calls me and says, I need to hire you because I need to get a head job. And I tell my clients, I tell prospective clients, I tell coaches in general all the time, an agent will not get you a job. And any agent that says that they can get you a job is an agent that is lying to you. My job is to prepare my clients for success. It's to help them build their brands and get their name out there. But I can't get my client a job. Maybe I can help them get an interview or position them in a place where they can have an opportunity to pursue a job opening, but I'm not going to get somebody a job. And what I can see happening is somebody that wants to play a game of representing administrators go to a young athletic director somewhere or associate AD and say, hey, I can represent you and I can get you an interview somewhere. And what's going to end up happening is that they're going to end up hurting them in the long run. They're going to hurt their brand, because unless you have a relationship with somebody, unless AD at X school calls me and says, hey, Jason, I need to fill my external relations position. Do you know of somebody that I should be looking at, which happens sometimes, I can recommend somebody in that context. And usually there is no contract negotiation. There is no opportunity for me to financially benefit from such a situation. It's simply me doing something really out of the kindness of my heart. But again, there is a relationship building aspect there for me as well, because if the person that I recommend is successful, then that AD is going to come to me eventually and say, hey, can you recommend somebody else? Or now we're looking for a coach for a particular position. Do you have a client of yours that we can work with? But I would be very, very, very wary as an AD, particularly somebody that is not an actual athletic director, but only an assistant or associate or whatever, and having somebody push me for particular positions. Just like I am very wary when I talk to assistant coaches and tell them, probably the worst thing you can do right now is hire an agent. What you should really be doing is networking and building relationships with other head coaches and with athletic directors, so that when they are looking for a coach, they know who to call.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.